Imagine this. Entire cities, bustling with life, once stood tall where now only sand and silence remain. Their names, their stories, their people, erased from memory. These are the civilizations that disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only whispers carved in stone. From the sun-scorched deserts of Africa to the dense, suffocating jungles of South America, history is a graveyard of brilliant societies that met a sudden, silent end. What happened to them? Was it war, famine, a changing climate, or something far more mysterious? And more importantly, what can their silent downfall teach us about our own world today? Join me as we journey back in time to uncover the secrets of the world's most enigmatic, lost civilizations. Our first stop takes us deep beneath the shifting sands of Oman to a place of legend, the lost city of Ubar. For centuries, it was known as the Atlantis of the Sands, a mythical metropolis spoken of in ancient texts and whispered by Bedouin travelers. Legends described it as a fabulously wealthy trade hub, a city overflowing with frankincense, exotic spices, and untold riches. It was a center of power and decadence, a jewel of the desert. But then, just as suddenly as it rose to prominence, Ubar vanished. As the stories go, the city's immense pride and wickedness angered the heavens, and one day, the earth simply opened up and swallowed it whole, leaving no survivors and no sign it ever existed. For thousands of years, it was dismissed as a mere fable. That is, until the 1990s. Using state-of-the-art satellite imagery, a team of explorers, led by Nicholas Clapp, detected ancient camel caravan tracks hidden beneath the dunes. These tracks converged on a single point. When they excavated, they found the ruins of a massive fortress, its walls crumbled, its towers fallen. The myth had become real. Ubar had been found. It appears the city was built over a massive limestone cavern, and the very water that sustained it eventually dissolved the foundation, causing a catastrophic collapse. Ubar's story is a powerful reminder. Wealth, power, and pride can vanish in an instant. Nothing is eternal in the vast, unforgiving desert of time. Now, let's travel even further back, to a time long before the pyramids of Egypt pierced the sky. In what is now the barren Sahara Desert, a mysterious people thrived. We call them the Nabta Playa civilization. Around 7,000 years ago, these ancient people built one of the world's oldest known astronomical devices, a circle of large stones, precisely arranged to track the stars and mark the summer solstice. They were sophisticated astronomers and engineers living in a region that was, at the time, a lush savanna filled with lakes and wildlife. They raised cattle, created intricate pottery, and held complex ceremonies aligned with the cosmos. They understood the heavens in a way that was far ahead of their time. But their world was changing. The climate began to shift. The life-giving rains ceased, and the green savanna slowly transformed into the hyper-arid desert we know today. As their environment grew harsher, the people of Nabta Playa had a choice: adapt or perish. The archaeological record shows that eventually they simply vanished. It's believed they migrated, perhaps east towards the fertile Nile Valley, possibly carrying their astronomical knowledge with them and planting the seeds for what would become the great Egyptian civilization. Nabta Playa leaves us with a stark lesson. Adaptation is the key to survival. Even the most advanced and knowledgeable societies can fall if they fail to change with the world around them. Let's journey across the Atlantic to the jungles of Central America, to the heart of one of history's greatest enigmas, the classic Maya collapse. For over 1,000 years, the Maya were masters of astronomy, mathematics, and architecture. They developed a complex writing system, created a calendar more accurate than any in Europe at the time, and built breathtaking stone cities like Tikal and Copan, with towering pyramids and grand palaces that emerged from the jungle canopy. Their society was a complex network of city-states, often at war but bound by a shared culture and religion. Then, around 900 CE, something went terribly wrong. The southern lowlands, the heartland of their civilization, experienced a rapid and catastrophic decline. One by one, the great cities fell silent. Construction halted, monuments were left unfinished, and the people abandoned their homes. Within a century, the once mighty urban centers were empty, left to be reclaimed by the relentless jungle. What happened? For decades, the mystery has baffled scholars. There's no single answer. Instead, scientists point to a perfect storm of factors. Prolonged, severe droughts made farming impossible. Centuries of warfare between city-states exhausted resources and manpower, and overpopulation strained the environment to its breaking point. Deforestation led to soil erosion, further crippling their ability to grow food. The Maya teach us a sobering lesson. Even unparalleled knowledge and breathtaking beauty can crumble when the delicate balance between a civilization and its environment is lost. Now, we sail to the most isolated inhabited place on Earth, Rapa Nui, or Easter Island. Thousands of miles from any continent, a small group of Polynesian settlers arrived around 800 years ago and created a culture unlike any other. They are famous for one thing: the moai. Nearly 1,000 colossal stone statues, some standing over 30 feet tall and weighing 80 tons, dot the island's landscape. These giant figures, representing deified ancestors, were carved from volcanic rock, transported miles across the island, and erected on massive stone platforms. It was an astonishing feat of engineering and social organization. But when European explorers arrived in the 18th century, they found a society in ruins. The island's lush palm forests were gone. The population had crashed, and the people were living in poverty, engaged in clan warfare. What happened? The evidence suggests a self-inflicted ecological disaster. The Rapa Nui people had cut down nearly every tree on the island. They needed the logs to transport the giant moai, to build canoes for fishing, and for firewood. Without trees, the soil eroded, birds vanished, and they could no longer build boats to escape or fish effectively. Their obsession with building bigger and bigger statues, a sign of competitive prestige, led them to destroy the very resources they needed to survive. Rapa Nui stands as one of history's most potent warnings. Progress without foresight and consumption without balance is a direct path to collapse. Finally, let's go to the banks of the Indus River in modern-day Pakistan and India. Here, 5,000 years ago, a civilization flourished that was in many ways more advanced than its famous contemporaries in Egypt and Mesopotamia. We call it the Indus Valley Civilization, with its two great cities, Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa. These were meticulously planned urban centers featuring grid-like street patterns, advanced water management systems with running water and flushing toilets, and even public baths. They had a standardized system of weights and measures and traded goods across vast distances. Their society appears to have been remarkably peaceful and egalitarian, with no evidence of palaces, temples to specific gods, or monuments to powerful rulers. But around 1900 BCE, their script, which remains undeciphered, disappeared. The cities began to decline, and eventually the people just left. There are no signs of a massive war or invasion. Instead, the evidence points towards gradual environmental change. It's theorized that a shift in climate patterns altered the monsoon season and may have caused the mighty Ghaggar Hakra River, a vital lifeline for many of their cities, to dry up completely. Faced with a dying landscape, the people of the Indus Valley didn't fight a losing battle. They simply abandoned their magnificent cities and migrated to smaller, more sustainable farming villages. The Indus Valley civilization teaches us something profound. Perhaps a civilization isn't to be measured by the grandeur of the cities it builds, but by the resilience and wisdom of its people to know when it's time to move on, to endure. So, what do we see when we look back at these ghosts of history? Ubar's pride, Nabta Playa's changing world, the Maya's imbalance, Rapa Nui's overreach, the Indus Valley's quiet migration. Each lost civilization leaves a message, written not in words, but in the deafening silence they left behind. They whisper the same eternal truth. We are not immune. We are not separate from the forces of nature, from the consequences of our choices, from the relentless march of time. The real question isn't just why they vanished. The question is whether we are listening to their warnings. As we face our own challenges of climate change, resource depletion, and social conflict, the ruins of these forgotten worlds serve as a powerful mirror. Are we learning from their fall, or are we destined to become another whisper in the stone? If these stories from the past have moved you, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Join me on our next journey as we continue to explore the greatest mysteries of history. Thank you for watching.